Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's a beautiful Wednesday. We're changing it to Wednesday just for this week. Normally, as you know, if you're a fan of our show, we're live on Thursdays. Just wanted to confirm we're all live here. So Wednesdays at 2 o'clock. We got some stuff going on Thursdays. So we're going to try this new timeout. If you have a time suggestion that you want, feel free to reach out to us. All our videos are always going to be recorded, so you never have to worry about missing a thing. So, for those that don't know us, my name is Robert O'Keefe. I am the creator and founder of Over 55NJ and the owner of Rock Real Estate. And what we do is we help people make educated decisions, downsizing, planning ahead, and making advanced moves. It's never too early to get in touch and to reach out to us whenever you have a real estate question, whenever you're planning ahead for your retirement and downsizing. So, because we focus on this niche, we talk to a lot of people. So, we have kind of a wealth of knowledge that we're building up that we just keep growing, but it keeps growing by the day. And we understand what's working, what's not working, some challenges people are facing. And so, it's almost like we have the answers to the test almost, where we just learn by experience. We're just accumulating a massive database of knowledge. So, if you have a question, if you want to start planning ahead, feel free to reach out to us. There's a saying that you want to stand on the shoulders of giants. And this is precisely what you'll be doing by just starting conversations early. We're completely no pressure, no rush team. So we're happy to talk to you and just work you through your real estate challenges and consult with you based on whatever you're thinking about. So today we have a very important topic, and it's going to be about finances, which is a topic we usually cover. We're very big on the numbers too, and just making sure everything works. We don't just show you a home. We want to make sure it's in the right fit for you financially. So we really cover all the bases here. Now, as always, we're not financial advisors, so we always recommend to talk to the appropriate people and do your own research. These are just general guidelines and for informational purposes only. If you want to reach out to us, go to over55nj.chat. You can schedule a time to talk to us. Feel free to send us an email at over55nj@gmail.com. And you're more than welcome to join our Facebook group, which is over55nj.group. You could talk to other seniors, other people, just kind of see what experiences they're having, because I guarantee you everybody's in the same boat. And of course, our website is over55nj.com, and you can search through all the 55 plus communities listings in New Jersey. So today's topic, one of my favorites, is the cost of living after retirement, the taxes, maintenance, and healthcare planning. So a lot of times people don't really talk about this and think about this until it's too late. So being clients of ours, we want to make sure you're prepared well in advance for a lot of these expenses and to budget ahead of time. I was speaking to someone today that didn't like her house. She has some personal circumstances where she can't move right now, but she was complaining it's very hot in her house. She wants what's called two-zone heating in her next house. But she really wasn't planning ahead or thinking about how much it would cost to replace her current system, and probably doesn't have like a savings account, a separate savings account for the cash on hand where it takes to replace that. On average, we're seeing the average bill to replace an HVAC system is about 10 grand, between 10 and 13,000. So it can kind of like sneak up on people. Some of these companies have financing options, but you're going to rack up a lot of interest that way. So the point is like a lot of people don't really plan ahead with their current situations or the future situations for these expenses that just come out of nowhere seemingly. So we're going to talk about the true cost of living after retirement and some of these big expenses to watch out for, and some ways also to get ahead of these expenses. So number one, let's go through the three big expenses to plan for after retirement. And number one is the biggest expense that you're going to pay across your lifetime. It's not food, it's not clothing, it's property taxes. So a lot of people don't know this, that taxes are always going to be our biggest expense that we pay across our lifetime, generally speaking, all things being equal. So property taxes and housing costs. So one of the advantages of downsizing and moving to a 55 plus community are that taxes are generally a lot lower than what you're normally paying. Even with that HOA fee, your net monthly expense is going to be a lot lower than your current single family house. So by downsizing, you want to think about all the money you're going to get back in your pocket on a monthly basis. And with this money, you can do what you want with it. You can travel. A lot of people take the opportunity to eat out more. A lot of our clients prudently start investing the money in a nest egg, either in a mutual fund or stashing money in the bank. In this way, they're starting to create their rainy day fund that may not have been available to them before. So, very, very key. We're going to talk about some of these bigger expenses to plan for later on in the presentation. But by downsizing and by decreasing your expenses, not just your mortgage, a lot of times people just sell their home, eliminate their mortgage, pay less property taxes, but even smaller things like utility bills. You'll be surprised how much money is saved up on a month to month basis by doing this, and all the freedom and flexibility you'll have to start planning ahead, to start planning ahead for a rainy day, and also plan for the worst case scenarios. So it's very important. One of the things we recommend is to run an audit of what you're currently spending on a monthly basis and reach out to us and we could start doing the math for you based on some solutions and based on where you want to live. And we could just put up a screen share and kind of compare apples to apples and compare both sides with each other. You'll be surprised how much money that you'll be saving on a month to month basis. And it's really astounding in most cases. So many retirees currently pay property taxes, like we said, insurance, HOA fees. And a tip is don't evaluate housing costs based on today's numbers. Consider how they may change over the next 5 to 10 years. Taxes generally go up, so this may kind of accelerate your plans for a downsizing solution. Any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. We appreciate everyone hopping on today. The next item we're going to go into is home maintenance and unexpected repairs. So common repairs could include roof. That's usually a big one. You don't usually need a new roof until it's absolutely time to need a new roof. We walk through some houses sometimes where we're seeing the discoloration in the ceiling. And a lot of our clients, all their liquid net worth is tied up in their house, so they don't have a lot of money to budget for this sort of thing. So that's one big one to reach out for. The HVAC replacement, which we just went over, $10,000 bill on average. Whether you're in a current home or you're in a 55 plus community or an HOA community, you're generally going to be responsible for replacing your own HVAC system. That's just the way it is. In a 55 plus community or a condo, you're responsible for all the systems inside your own walls. So you're almost certainly going to be responsible for that. One of the key things we recommend is just determine the ages of the systems and start setting money aside for these systems before you start closing on the property. Plumbing issues, landscaping, and general upkeep. A lot of these have to do with downsizing. Think about the money you pay your landscaper. Think about the money you could be putting aside otherwise. The HOA fee generally covers that in many cases. So think about all these like little expenses that start adding up when you currently own your own home versus when you're exploring a downsizing solution. The little things will start adding up very quickly. A pro tip is build an annual maintenance reserves into your retirement budget, even if your home is currently in great shape. With technology, this is very easy to do. You can set aside a monthly transfer, like kind of an automated savings or investment plan, if you will, and you can kind of set and forget it. A lot of great accounts will just have an option where you can set a monthly transfer. You can segment and separate your accounts and create a separate account for your budget and your reserve. So when these things happen, you don't have to fret about them. You'll have money set aside and you'll be planning ahead with them. And a lot of these big savings account have high yield interest too. So you'll be earning money on the interest as well as being very responsible. So always start planning ahead and start planning ahead before you need to do these things. So very, very key is start a deferred maintenance plan, start a separate bank account so all this is covered and so that nothing is a surprise. Any questions, feel free just to chime in here. Now, the last one is the big one, healthcare and lifestyle support costs. now. So a lot of people don't like speaking or thinking about these things, but the cost for assisted living care has grown astronomically high. We see on average about $15,000 a month for assisted living. So a lot of times when people will reach out to us, they're currently renting, they don't know if they should buy or rent. We always kind of lean towards advising them to buy, even if it gets out of their comfort zone, because with buying, they're building equity. Um, they have more security. The landlord can't kick them out later on, and they don't have to move later on in their age. But by building equity and selling their home, a lot of times we're seeing our clients essentially cover all their assisted living care from the equity in their home. So it's a big thing to plan for and kind of scary when you're getting older and you can't work and you can't earn as much as you used to. When these bills start ticking up, $15,000. I just spoke to someone the other day where their fee just increased another $1,500 a month. So it gets very scary and the care gets very astronomical, especially in relation to inflation. So this is going to be the big care and kind of a sleeping giant as we see more and more baby boomers retire, is the cost of this care is just going to keep growing and growing. So it's something to think about and something to plan ahead for. With the savings you earn from downsizing, from cashing out of your current home, think about starting a nest egg for this expense just for this reason. There's a lot of long-term care insurance providers. They're very expensive. So if you could start getting ahead and getting ahead of the ball game and starting to save, starting to invest and putting money aside for this, you're going to be in such a better spot. And you should really start be doing this as soon as possible, even when you're, just as soon as possible, even at a very young age. So don't wait, start today on this and don't let it pass you by. Healthcare is going to be very, very expensive in this country. So just something to watch out for and something to be aware of and something to plan ahead for. So let's go through a few expenses we have here. We have medical expenses, prescription costs, transportation needs, in-home care, in some cases, personal assistance. And a pro tip is consider how your housing choices today may affect your ability to manage future healthcare needs. So think about um, not just today, but in advance. We always say, imagine yourself 5 years from now. Where will you be? What do you think your health would look like? Do you think you'll slow down a little bit? And start planning ahead today with yourself in mind there. So hopefully this gives you some things to think about here as you start to budget and plan ahead. Just to recap, we recommend starting separate savings accounts, investing in those savings accounts through automation, and also consider downsizing solutions. Property taxes and housing costs could really put a dent in your current monthly budget, but also could give you opportunity to start saving ahead for these things. Home maintenance and repairs go down too while downsizing. And then you're always want to thinking kind of what we say is begin with the end in mind, is prepare for your healthcare, lifestyle, and support costs. If you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to us. As always, we're not financial advisors. We're not here to provide financial advice. We can only go by our experience and what we see in our clients' lives and help you start planning ahead so you can avoid the same mistakes, but also build on some successes we've seen and start to share in that success. So never hesitate to reach out and never hesitate just to get in touch in advance so we can start walking through some of these problems and challenges even before they become challenges. You're just always want to be well ahead of the game. And the sooner you start, the better. So that being said, feel free to send us a direct message. You can also email us at over55nj@gmail.com. Check out our website at over55nj.com, where you could just check out all the listings and start planning ahead for your downsizing move. We'll see you next week on the next video. We'll keep you posted on the updated times. Probably should be back to our regular Thursday programming. And as always, just reach out to us with any questions. Make it a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much.